Welcome to the Panic Button, everyone. I am Nina, and today we're reacting to some clips of people who have a hardcore belief about the trans ideology. And we're just going to get into it because this is some wild and crazy stuff. Here we go.
You also did try to have a baby regularly, didn't you?
I mean, it's exhausting. I mean, I read every book. They're like, do this position, it'll be a girl. Do this position, it'll be a boy. Like overnight, all night. Like literally every night.
Banging chicks? You're just banging a girl?
No, I was having sex with my husband, and then finally I sought medical attention because I was like, there's something fundamentally wrong. Like we just can't get.
What's fundamentally wrong is that you're a male. You're just a dude. You have a penis. When your husband puts his genitalia into your booty, nothing's going to happen. Maybe some air pockets. I don't know. But there's no egg. There's no uterus. Nothing's being fertilized. You are not going to have a baby. You're just having a good time.
Pregnant, and so.
Wait, time out. You're trying different positions with your husband, Nathan. Very nice guy. Like Nathan a lot. Salt of the earth guy. Met him really down to earth. But you're doing positions that you're reading in books for heterosexual sex, and you're smart.
Well, I didn't specify that in the book, but the doctor explained to me that you needed to.
You don't specify in the book, yes. Because the book probably said woman or female. And because of these people and their ideology, they think that trans women are women because they've been told by retards. And they believe it because they're retarded. So they believe that they are women and female. So when they read this book, they're like, oh, this is me. But it's not. They think that they are biologically women because they're made of biological stuff. You've heard that stupid argument before. But they're not made of the biological stuff that females are made of. So your husband can be humping you from the back until the cows come home and the rooster crows and the fat lady sings. But you will never get pregnant. You can try for a millennia. It ain't no baby coming out of nowhere. You'll die trying. It's not going to happen. Changing the definition of words to fit your ideology doesn't make the reality of what that word stands for mean anything less than what it originally meant. It's biology. You could push a turd out of your rectum and call it a baby, but it's still going to be a turd. It's not going to grow up into a human being. If you let it sit there, it's going to mold and maybe fertilize some things. A woman is a biological female. You are not a biological female. You're just saying you're one. Just saying you're one doesn't make you a biological female. You just think it does. But biology says, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? Are you stupid?
Have a female involved to actually conceive the baby. And so at that point, I just called my sister, and it was real easy after that.
You also did.
Maybe we shouldn't be letting certain people have babies. Now, I know, hold on. The right will say more people need to have babies. I disagree. I'm not saying let's go to the Chinese policy that they used to have. I'm saying maybe you need to have a mental health check before having a child, or maybe a background check. I mean, the amount of abuse that happens with children that is not reported is immense. And I think that maybe we need to have a little powwow and sit down and talk this one out, because allowing these people to have children is not necessarily a good thing. Just some food for thought. Let me just give you all some information here. I'm sure most of you are incredibly intelligent, but this is a male pelvis, and this is a female pelvis. Now, the male pelvis is created to not push a baby out of it. See how small the hole is? See how big the hole is with the female, because the female is built, whether she wants to have a child or not, or doesn't have a child, or does have a child, her body is built to push out a baby. So if this man, for some crazy reason that will probably never happen, if they decide to make it so they can put a uterus into a man and fertilize an egg in that man, there is no way in hell the man is pushing out any child out of his butt at all. Like, there's no way he's pushing a child out of his butt, because if he tries, first of all, the tubes aren't attached that way. Your intestines, they aren't attached to any of that, whatever the hell you're going to have going on inside of you. But if they do attach all the tubes, you're going to have to push a big baby out of this hole right here. And what will happen is the baby will die and your pelvis will either shatter or snap, which will create internal bleeding and make you die. So it's not a very rational idea. It's also not a rational belief that a man can do this. But even if, let's say, for example, far-fetched as it is, they get a fake uterus implanted into a man and the man has the baby as a C-section. Well, the man is not capable, his body and his function and the way that he is built is not capable of handling a human being inside of him. So you'd have to do a whole bunch of other stuff in order for a man to be able to carry a baby that is going to be growing inside of him. There's going to have to be a whole bunch of stuff they're going to have to do. And even then, he will probably die along with the baby, even trying. So that causes a problem with the right, who are completely against fetuses dying in the womb. Okay, they're against abortion. Me, I think it should be safe and rare. Safe and rare. Shouldn't be doing it all the time. But if we have to have it done for certain circumstances, yes, it should be safe. But the right will absolutely flip their gourd if this is ever tried in America. Because not only are you're putting the male at risk, which he is an adult, he can decide these things, right? Until they start pushing male children to have babies and all that weird stuff, which I would see coming down the pipeline without a doubt, if they could have this done. But you are also putting to risk the fetus, which the right calls babies. So you are going to take a living thing that will be eventually a human, you are putting it at risk with the giant possibility of it dying in order to feed your gender identity, which we call mental health issues. But these people don't call it a mental health issue because they say it's an identity, not a mental health issue. And yet they still claim that they have the highest unaliving rate of anyone, which doesn't make any sense because by that note, you would also have to say that unaliving ideations are not mental health issues. So which is it? What are we doing here? Your cognitive dissonance is off the scales. So there's that. Now, let's go on to my next clip to show you that this is still a mental health issue. Even though they say it is not, it is obvious that if you are not believing in reality, if you are willing to try to live outside of reality, reality will slap you in the face and say, hey, this is how it is. You can say it's different, but it's still reality. And no matter how much you change definitions or words, it will not change it. Reality is transphobic, I suppose, but it is what it is. Here we go. Are you ready for this, crazy?
Fun fact, trans women also get periods.
Really?
Yes.
You get a period?
Yes. I get monthly cycles.
Do you get monthly cycles?
Yep.
So the lining of your uterine wall.
So a cycle, right? Women have monthly cycles because it happens every month. And we don't have to take medication in order for it to happen. It happens naturally. This dude has his quote-unquote monthly cycles because he's taking a medication at certain times, right? So he thinks he's experiencing something that he isn't and claiming that it is something it isn't. To make himself, almost gaslight himself into believing that he is a woman, a female, when he is not. This is how far the retardation has gone.
Is falling apart and draining.
That's
your uterine wall.
See, this is the fun part. Due to not having a uterus, the weird part is I still get the cramps, but I just don't get the.
Are you sure it's just not from Lupron messing with your body?
Oh, what?
I said, are you sure it's just not the Lupron messing with your body?
I don't think that this man is taking puberty blockers. I think he is past the point of no return. I think he is on estrogen. He's on the female hormone in order for him to make himself feel more female, which, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that to yourself? Because the side effects are not fun, from what I have heard. And from what I've read, side effects are not fun at all. So he is claiming to have a monthly cycle, which he does not. And he is claiming that he has a period, which he does not have. He is claiming that he gets cramps. Well, I know a lot of men who get cramps who don't identify as women. Does that mean they have periods too? A lot of men who identify as men could take the female hormone and have cramps, but that don't make them female and that does not make them have periods. What it usually does is it makes them have the shits. One of the side effects of these hormones is to have intestinal issues. Diarrhea, the squirts, the mudge sludge. Now, you can call it whatever you want. He calls it a period. I call it diarrhea. The Hershey squirts. It's the multitude of different things you could call it, but really it's just all the same thing. You have diarrhea. Now, women, when we have our periods, most of us, around the first few days, we have to crap. We have intestinal issues. That's just part of the game, man, that we have to deal with. It's not fun, but we do it. Why you would want to put yourself through crapping all the time, I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's any fun, but having the craps isn't a period. Blood comes out of the woman's vagina. Poop comes out of his anus. These are two entirely different things. And to say they are the same is psychotic.
No, it's an actual
You don't think so?
Yeah, I got the
a period.
full-on, like, emotional cycles and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so emotional cycles. Well, when a female says she's a male and she is taking testosterone, she may feel more aggression because of the testosterone. Doesn't mean she's having a male cycle. It doesn't mean she's more of a man. It just means that she's experiencing side effects from the hormones. He's also experiencing another side effect from the hormones, which are mood swings. Some men start crying a lot more and they get more emotional. That's the good old part of estrogen, which women love. Why you'd want to put yourself through that? I don't know. But also, they say, not a mental health issue. Okay. So just because you're pooping a lot and crying doesn't mean that you're a woman who's experiencing her period. It means that you are a mentally unwell male who is taking a substance in order to make yourself believe that you are something that you're not, and you're experiencing the side effects of pooping and crying. That doesn't make you a woman. It means your mental health is not doing very well. You're pretty much using this hormone in order to convince yourself that you're something you're not. So in order for yourself to feel better, while at the same time saying that you people have the highest rate of unaliving ideations. So taking a hormone to feel more female where you crap and cry a lot makes you feel better about yourself. Then I think therapists should have more questions than just affirming.
You're saying you have a period, though,
I do, yes.
but you don't have any blood leaving you. There's no thinning of the uterine lining, which is
True.
what a period is. And some of the results of a period are cramping.
Yes.
So you have similar symptoms
I
to a
get-
period,
yeah.
but you don't have a period at all. You have no period because you're a man.
So, for example, a panic attack and a heart attack. Two different things. Same symptoms. One, you could die. The other, you're just freaking out because something is triggering your anxiety. Now, you could say that you had a heart attack when really you just had a panic attack, but it doesn't mean you actually had a heart attack. It just means you're experiencing the same symptoms. But even that doesn't sound as crazy as this does, because anyone can get a panic attack and a heart attack. But a male can never and will never, in the history of ever, be able to have periods. It's just not going to happen. You could paint a dove black and call it a raven, but it is still a dove. You can groom and color a dog to look like Tony the Tiger, but it's still a dog. Just because you are changing the definition of something and co-opting the word doesn't make the reality of what the word originally meant any different. It is still what it is. So to give you, so the menstrual cycle is the reoccurring series of hormonal and physical changes in a woman's body which prepare the reproductive system for a possibility of pregnancy. Each month, men can't get pregnant. Women who identify as men can get pregnant because they're women. They have menstrual cycles when they're not on testosterone. They have the womb. They have the vagina. So they can get pregnant. Just because they say they're man doesn't mean that they are still not biologically a woman. It does not eradicate biological truth. Changing words doesn't eradicate biological truth. Changing definitions doesn't do that either. It just means you're crazy and you're just signaling to everyone else that you've lost your mind. So within the ovarian cycle, there is a release of the egg shedding the uterine lining. I mean, I think we all know what it is. But what it isn't is a person with a prostate experiencing diarrhea and emotional mood swings. See, now, if I were to be taking a medication that were to give me those side effects, I would get off of it immediately because it would not be helping. But if you are willing to go through that kind of physical discomfort in order to make yourself, convince yourself that you're something that you're not, then you have the free right to do that. But you don't have the right to bully someone into believing something that you believe. It's just not going to happen. Cults believe in some crazy things that most people don't believe in. Christians, even. The Virgin Mary giving birth. People living over 1,000 years. I mean, it's not reality. It's a belief system. It's a religion. They know that. This transgender ideology, this gender ideology, it's the same thing. It's just a belief system. It's not based on reality. It's based on how people feel. It's based on what they believe, but it's not based in reality. Henceforth, the guy isn't shedding any uterine lining and popping out an egg. He's having the Hershey squirts, intestinal cramps, and he's crying. And that does not a period make. Like and subscribe to this channel if you see the hype button. Please hit it. You can join our memberships to keep this channel going because everyone knows that YouTube loves gender critical lesbians. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.